Hello, everyone. This is Ella Bakush, and welcome to our course on schools in the Western world, where our students get to think, reflect, and gain an understanding of their particular learning situations. We had the units consisted of schools in the Western world today, history of schools, negative things about schools, positive things about schools, schools in the future, and let's create a perfect school. My subject was in, my unit was in schools in the future. It was Olga who came up with the great idea of exploring schools. Our students would compare and contrast contemporary schools, examine schools, cultures of the past, present, and the future, discuss and document their understanding or their feelings about what they liked and didn't like about schools. And finally, they would themselves create their ideal school. My unit was Schools in the Future. I click this on. Let's see if that comes up. Here we go. So I started off with a choice item, trying to get them into the to the unit, and then we did KWL, which is what I know, what I want to know, and what I learned for schools in the past, present, and future. And this would be done in a wiki where they could collaborate in their groups and document and change the KWL as necessary. Each student putting in input. They watched this video, Future Schools of Finland, and then they completed their KWL wiki, and after completing this and documenting what they learned about past, present, and future schools, each group would have to answer the following questions. What are the main features of schools in the past, present, and future? How do you want to be educated in the future? How do you think the future of schools will meet your expectations? Explained. And I wanted to extend this Western world because this is a big globe, and a lot of, way people learn is so different in different countries. So I did want their thoughts on how future schools will impact their individual communities and connect to their cultural needs and enable technology and change teacher roles. How would they think a teacher would, what role would a teacher have? So they really didn't have any, well, this was their writing. This KWL was their writing, and this was their whole map for a presentation, for research, for everything. So the vocabulary from this, from everything they experienced beforehand, from the past, what they liked, what they didn't like, and all this was documented in the glossary. All these vocabulary words, new words. And the grammar, they would talk about just simple tense, simple present, simple past, and the simple. There was a review of that. And then they had to actually write sentences I think it was in the vocabulary. And so the listening and speaking, they would do that on a podcast, which is they would, have a document there and be able to read off answering all these questions, and then the test would consist of each group will be peer assessed as well as teacher assessed. So they were able to they have a rubric, and they were able to, the students, each individual student would have to hand in their own rubric, each student that wasn't in the group in presenting at the time, so that then they could mark the and I wanted them to put their peer evaluations in the MyView Exhibits ePortfolio. So I added a block. Well, I don't know if it's here or not. Yeah, here it is. I added this block for them to do that. But of course, there would have to be a lot of explanation of how to do this. And so all in all, I had so much fun going to the different websites, looking for material, looking for content, plugging it into the Moodle, a lot. And I enjoyed working with all the ladies and all my colleagues in the group. My biggest problem was not being able to find graphic organizers, and this is how I teach. I teach using graphic organizers. I searched for hours and hours and could not find them online where they would have a particular view of a graphic organizer that I wanted them to use. But that's all. That's everything else. So thank you very much for listening.